All right, everyone. In the interest of time, I am going to go ahead and start rolling with the seminar for today. As people pop in from the waiting room, we will continue admitting them. Lucy and Christian, especially at the beginning when I'm speaking quite a bit, if you don't mind helping me to monitor that, that would be great. So friends, welcome to this week's first year seminar. I am so excited to get started on this particular topic with all of you because this was one of the first topics that you as a first year class voted on in order to have this seminar presented at the end of the semester. So one of the things that we got quite a bit of feedback on that many of you seem to still have questions about is really how to get involved on campus, how to kind of create your own college experience, and really how to be social and interact with people, especially during this pandemic, which I know is especially rough right now. So this seminar is an answer to those questions for you. This is all about customizing your own college experience and all of the pathways that you can take to do that. And luckily, now that vaccines are going out and more people, are now getting immunity from the virus, things are starting to open up again. And so there are many more options for things to do than there were a few months ago when we had this conversation. So I'm really excited to present this to you this week. So this is all about getting involved during the pandemic as a student and beyond for future thought. So the learning objectives for today's seminar are as follows. We want you to be able to understand the opportunities and resources that are available for customizing your college experience. And then we also want you at the end of this to act upon it. We want you to reflect on your own personal values, your personal goals, and your personal interests, and to then create a plan for yourself for your own college experience. So with that being said, I actually want to start with a brief poll. So everybody, including mentors, first year students, everybody who's logged on to the call, you can either scan this QR code or you can go to mentimeter.com and enter that code there. But I have two poll questions for you that I would like for you to answer. And they will pop up as soon as you log in. I'm going to show the questions to you very briefly, and then I'll go back to this slide. So the questions are, the purpose of college is to focus on academic studies and performing successfully in your classes, and it's an agreement scale. So do you strongly agree, do you disagree, or do you strongly disagree? And then the second question is, what components or what kinds of things essentially do you think, in your opinion, contribute to a holistic college experience? And this one is going to come out in the form of a Wordle. So I'm going to go back to this slide so that everybody has access to it. And if you will go in and answer those questions, in just a moment, I will show you the results. Thanks, Lucy, for dropping that in the chat. Much appreciated. So give it another minute. And let's see if we have results popping in just yet. Excellent. So it looks like we've got quite a few responses popping in. So the first one was an agreement question. The purpose of college is to focus on academic studies and performing successfully in your classes. It looks like the majority of people agreed with this statement. 3 strongly agreed and 1 disagreed. Excellent. Keep those responses in mind as we move forward with this seminar. And then the second slide says, what components contribute to a holistic college experience? It looks like we are still waiting for some answers to pop in on this one. And if you're confused by what I mean by that question, I'm asking you what kinds of experiences, what kinds of things, that you would do as a student, just anything that would contribute to a college experience. What are those kinds of things? And you can literally just list it out in your own words. So I'll give you one more moment to answer that, and then I'm going to pop forward in less than 1 minute. Ah, great. We've got some popping in now, and you can see the live answers coming in. So in terms of components that contribute to to a holistic college experience. The word extracurriculars is popping out nice and big. That means that multiple people are answering with that particular thing. We can also see things like a social life. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see that as an answer. I feel like a lot of students really kind of suffer when it comes to their social lives in college. So it's nice to see that a lot of people are understanding that that's something that you should be balancing. And you can see other answers popping in as well. Excellent. Friends, education, student orgs, personal growth. Excellent answers. Fantastic, my friends. So with these answers in mind, we are going to continue moving forward, but go ahead and take a look at the screen. Look at all of the things that you as students have decided contribute to a holistic college experience, and keep that in mind as we begin to move forward with this discussion. All right, so thank you so much for those answers, my friends. So at this point, we're actually going to go to a student panel discussion to dive a little bit deeper into this topic. I want to do some quick introductions. So all of you at this point, I would hope would know me. My name is Markie Rhodes, and I'm the Senior Associate Director in Undergraduate Admission, and I'm also the coordinator for this first year experience program. With me, I have Rachel Hirsh. Rachel, do you want to introduce yourself again briefly?
Yes, if I can figure out how to unmute. Hey, I'm Rachel Hirsh. I'm the director of Campus Life. I worked previously with Markie in admissions, and we are going to be really working together with FYE and then all the YEs on.
All of the year experience programs that are coming. And then we have 4 amazing student leaders with us today to join this student panel discussion. And I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to introduce yourselves. So Lucy and Christian, do you wanna go first?
Sure, I guess I'll go first. I'm Christian. I'm one of the lead mentors for the FYE program. I'm a fourth year biomedical engineering student. I'm also doing a co-term in project management. So that's me.
Wonderful. Lucy?
Yeah, hi, I'm Lucy. I'm also one of the lead mentors with Christian, and I'm a second year student, but a first year student technically studying architecture.
Excellent. Thank you, Lucy. Mountie, how about you?
Hello, I'm Mountie. I'm a mentor, and I'm also an RA. And I'm a third year who is double majoring in architecture and architectural engineering.
All of you students who double major, you are so brave. Hats off to you. And then we have Diana with us as well. Diana, would you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Diana. I am part of the Campus Life team, so I am the Campus Life liaison. I am a fifth year co-terminal student studying information technology and management.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Diana. So these are our amazing student leaders, and they're going to offer their own perspectives, and obviously this is a diverse group of students in terms of interest, in terms of what they're majoring in. And so I thought that that panel of perspectives could be helpful for you as first year students. So I want to do a little bit of a recap of one of the questions that I asked in the initial survey. And that question was, the purpose of college is to focus on your academic studies. And you had to tell me if you agree or disagree and why you answered that way. So panel members, would you be willing to jump in and share your perspective on that particular statement?
Yeah,
And
for
feel
sure.
free, go ahead. I was going to say, feel free to just unmute and jump in when you're ready.
So I agree with that statement, but not strongly agree, because I think if you kind of boil it down, you are like paying tens of thousands of dollars to get a college degree. So I think it's really easy to see that that is like a main focus, but I think that it's really important to also focus on everything else that you're not, one, paying for, and two, like you're getting the opportunity to experience. So there's so many resources that you have available and so many different things that you can experience. And I think especially with IIT, like a lot of people aren't from Chicago, and so even just being in Chicago and being able to experience everything that Chicago has to offer is something that I think every student should at least spend some time like focusing on during their time. here.
Absolutely. So Lucy, what I'm hearing from you is you're saying that there are a lot of things on campus that students can experience, but then also the city of Chicago itself has a lot of things to experience. Friends, I got to be honest, I'm a transplant to Chicago, and this is my favorite city in the United States, and I've traveled to quite a few of them. So if you've not gotten out in the city and explored, you are missing out, and we will talk about that a little bit later on. Other perspectives on this question about the purpose of college being to focus on your academic studies and why?
So definitely, I mean, you're coming to a university to study. Like the purpose of going to a university is typically to get a degree. But that's not the sole purpose. And I think when people think about their academic studies, they just think about classes. But especially also in being in such close proximity to Chicago, there are a lot of opportunities to get involved in research, internships, and actually become a part of not just stuff that's going on campus, but also stuff that's going on off campus. Again, that proximity to such a big city just creates so many open doors for opportunities and so many open doors for different jobs and different experiences.
Absolutely. So, Monty and Diana, maybe you can help me out with kind of the follow up to this question, which, in your opinion, what does it actually mean to customize your own college experience? And what do you think really makes for a well balanced and holistic college experience?
Yeah, so personally speaking, I've been at Illinois Tech for 5 years already. So the things I remember the most are definitely not my classes. The things I remember the most are basically the experiences, the events that I have attended, and my friends. Like, yes, I do obtain like all this knowledge from classes and for my future education, but the things that stand out the most for me are basically times I hang out with my friends or of something that I've done. I've gone to a conference, network event. I think those
Absolutely.
are very key, very important and key to a great college experience.
Absolutely. Monty, anything to add?
I was gonna say personal growth is very important once you come to college because yes, you're gaining your educational degree, but you also want to grow as a person. So that can only happen when you get involved in things. You can get involved in so many things. So maybe you like doing art, so join an art club and meet new people, go to a museum. Like Diana said, your experiences with friends, with networking events at conferences, all of this leads towards personal growth, and that would make towards a more holistic experience.
Absolutely, Mountie. I think that was very eloquently stated. And I think you're exactly right that personal growth is just as important, in my opinion. And there is research to back this up as your academic studies in college, because that personal growth piece is so much of what is going to give you confidence going into the workforce. It's what's going to give you leadership skills to really catapult yourself forward in your career. And so, really, the involvement piece of your college experience is certainly not time wasted. Do you have to prioritize academics? Of course you do. That's why you're in college. But it is important to find that balance between your personal life, your academic life, and then any networking or involvement that you might do for those personal growth purposes. And let's make sure that everybody understands that social interactions, even if they're just for fun, are part of personal growth. We learn from the people around us. The people around us very much shape who we are. And so that is definitely not something to slough off when you're in college, thinking that you'll get those opportunities later on, especially considering the amazing community that we have at Illinois Tech and the incredible student body that we have. These people are certainly worth interacting with during your undergraduate studies. So thank you so much for your perspectives on that, panel members. We're going to come back to some panel questions shortly, but I was so excited to see all of the students' answers to the questions on the survey. One of the things that it asked was, what do you think the components of a holistic college experience are? And most of you came up with these answers. So keeping in mind that it's really not just about academics, it is all about balance in college. So campus involvement is part of that. Student organizations, campus events, those learning opportunities that are experiential in nature that really take you above and beyond what you're doing in the classroom to apply what you're learning, or even to expand your knowledge of what you're learning beyond your major. Those are things like internships, undergraduate research, study abroad, Elevate, campus jobs, all of those are experiential, even if they're not directly related to your major. And we're going to have a later session in the spring here in about a week with career services, where they will talk about the value of experiences that are both aligned and not perfectly aligned with your major. And then you can't forget that your physical, social, and emotional wellness is absolutely paramount. You are human beings that have needs, and even though you're in college and you're overwhelmed, you still have to be able to meet those needs. So keeping in mind things like socializing with peers, getting to explore the city, physical activities, sleep hygiene, balanced nutrition, and your work-life balance are things that you should prioritize. Because as much as we like to think that we can kick the can down the road and say, it's eventually going to get easier, I'm going to have more time for these things, I just need to suffer through it now, and then I can socialize when I graduate from college. In reality, time management is always going to be a struggle as an adult. And so really developing those skills where you're learning to balance your life with your work are critical starting in college, to make for a much more well-balanced college experience and then going into the professional world as well. So going back to our student panel, knowing the components that do make for this holistic college experience, what tips do you have for getting involved on campus? I think, a lot of students are really feeling at a loss for that, especially this year, given the conditions in the pandemic. And don't just, I think that getting started can be overwhelming sometimes. So what tips do you have for your fellow students on getting involved?
I would probably say no matter what year you are, no matter where you are in your college experience, it's never too late to get involved. There are tons of different organizations on campus that, or even like can do stuff virtually given the current situation, that if you reach out, they will get you involved. A lot of things I know just personally myself, I didn't really get involved until my second/third year at IIT. I didn't really get involved in a lot of the things I'm now involved in. So it really is never too late, but the sooner you get involved in them, the more deep and meaningful those connections that you make will be.
Great. Other perspectives on tips for getting involved?
Yeah,
I
I
would,
kind of, go ahead, Margie.
I was about to say that it doesn't have to be major specific. I know a lot of people think that, hey, I'm in MMAE, so I need to get in a club that's just for MMAE, which isn't true. You can, if you have any particular interest that you like, you can definitely go out and seek those opportunities, and you will find them. There are a lot on campus.
Yeah, I was just going to say that kind of to Christian and Markie's point about it can be very overwhelming to kind of start getting involved, but like Christian said, I think the sooner the better. And I think that's one thing, like when I talk to a lot of people, that's one thing that they regret is like not getting involved sooner. And one thing to keep in mind with that is like just because you go to an event, it doesn't mean that you are committing to being in that club forever and like going to all of their meetings. Like it's okay to just go to one event. And then also, especially now, like I know the events are limited, but because events are virtual, it's a lot easier to go to events. And also I think a lot of clubs are like trying to get more people to go to their events. So even if it's your first time going to an event, like any club would definitely welcome you.
And if you're sitting here thinking, yeah, but how do I join those clubs? That's why Rachel's here today. And she's actually going to go over with you specifically where to look online and where to reach out if you're interested in getting involved. So don't worry, that's coming. I am going to move to the next question. And I'm so excited about this one because I'm such an enthusiast about playing in this beautiful city that we live in. So what are some of your favorite things to do, see, or eat in the city? And I'm going to let you as students offer your perspective first because I could talk about this for hours, quite literally. So go for it when you're ready.
So I'm actually from around the Chicagoland area. So I've been in the city quite a bit, and I've now lived off campus for 2 years. I lived in West Loop, and then I also lived in Pilsen, and I can confidently say those are two of the best places in the entire city to get food. West Loop, just down Randolph Street. It's pretty close in proximity to Greektown as well. You can get there by taking the Green Line from campus and you'll get off at the Morgan stop. And just all down that route, yeah, Rachel just put something in the chat. Just down Randolph Street, you'll have tons and tons of different restaurants that are just amazing to try. You will not run out of options.
What else, friends?
One of my personal favorites is the 606. I don't know if you guys know about it, but this is a long trail. I think it's about two miles or so long. It starts off by where I am, and then it ends up like it's really, really long. But I like to walk it back and forth. I'm lucky enough to like be at the exit, and it's just one of the things where you guys can explore like different communities as you walk through it.
I do the same thing, Diana. I have a road bike that I like to ride up and down the 606, and it is so much fun when the weather is nice to do that, and the views are just beautiful, and you really do get kind of a tour of the city whenever you're on the 606. So it's a pathway. Look it up if you've never seen it before, because there are multiple areas of the city where you can jump onto the path. Other answers for favorite things to do, see, and eat?
I would say one of my best things that I ever did was get a divvy bike subscription, because then I can just take a divvy bike and they're like right there on campus, and then just go down the lakefront trail. So that's one of the things that I do when I'm very tired on being on campus.
Excellent.
I think for me, I don't think, at least yet, I have like a favorite place in Chicago, kind of like Christian. But I think, as in terms of favorite things to do, I really like exploring new areas. So I guess kind of two of my main ways to do that are I like watching sunsets. Um, and so like the 31st Street Beach is a fun place to like watch the sunset or watch the sunrise, and also even just like the SSV rooftop. But then also, this is kind of harder now with COVID, but last year I would go to like different coffee shops in different areas, and that way I'd kind of be able to like walk around different neighborhoods, and you're not like spending a lot of money either, because coffee is only like $5. So uh, yeah. And also I found this, I think one of my favorite like restaurants is, it's kind of far, it's like an hour on the red line, but it's this little Lebanese restaurant and they have really good food. It's called the Taste of Lebanon.
That place is excellent. I've been there multiple times, Lucy. So I want to jump in on this one because, like I said, this is just such a fun topic to chat about. And what I will tell you is that as a transplant to Chicago, you know, when I first moved here, and I'm still this way, even though I've been here for 3 years, I kind of approached my own city like a tourist. And, you know, each weekend or days after work, I would pick a different neighborhood to kind of go explore and go visit, you know, and that is what is so cool about Chicago as a city, is it is a city of neighborhoods, and each neighborhood kind of has its own culture and own distinct feel. So my main advice to you is don't be afraid to get out and take advantage of the entire city, because it really is accessible via the CTA, and you all have that unlimited U pass. So go explore Wicker Park one weekend and the neighborhoods along the Blue Line, you know, Logan Square, Bucktown. Then maybe another weekend you go up to the north side and you check out Andersonville, Uptown, Ravenswood, those areas. Maybe another time you check out Lincoln Park and Lakeview, or you check out the Loop. But definitely don't be afraid to take advantage of the city in its entirety. And if you are a food lover and as a student you are saying, but I'm a poor college student, how am I supposed to afford eating out all the time? The cool thing about Chicago is, sure, there are a lot of upscale restaurants, but there are also a lot of just old school diners, you know, places where you can get really cheap food that is just to die for. And so here in just a little bit, I actually had our first year mentors create a resource document for you that actually has recommendations for things that you can go, do, see, and eat in the city. And we will share that at the end. And you are welcome, you know, to continue adding to it yourselves as well, but it'll give you kind of a starting place if you've been struggling to find things to do. So next question, how has finding a balance between academics, social life, and student involvement enhanced your college experience? Panelists, you can jump in when you're ready.
I first want to preface this question by saying that I don't think any of us have it perfectly figured out yet. So it's okay if you're struggling and you're still trying to, figure out what works best for you, because it's always going to be a learning curve, and it's never going to be perfect. But I think for me, it's really allowed me to like get the most out of my college experience and do everything that I want to do. Because for me, it's really easy for me to really only like focus on academics and just constantly be overwhelmed by that and be like, I need to do this for studio and I need to like do all these other things for classes. And it's like very easy for me to only prioritize that. And then I'm not able to, spend as much time as I want with friends, spend time on self-care, spend time, going out and exploring the city. So trying to find that balance and doing as best as I can to find some sort of balance really allows me to be a lot happier. My mental health is better, and I just am able to um, really feel like I'm getting the most out of my time here.
That's a great answer, Lucy. And actually, I think we can kind of combine these two questions in the interest of time. So not only how has finding that balance helped you, but then any advice that you have for students who are struggling to find that balance. And so go ahead and jump in, friends. I can take a couple more answers before moving forward.
I'll definitely say spending enough time with your friends and actually just doing stuff that's not related to school will be a huge boost to you. I know personally spending that time has been a great way for me to de-stress and then even be more productive, because if you want to take like an hour break from studying after you've been studying for a couple of hours, it reduces kind of that fatigue that you get. And if you do something away from a computer, it also reduces that screen fatigue that you get. And then the last kind of tip, I know it's been said multiple times um, throughout probably everyone's college career, but definitely get 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. It's helped my mental health, physical health, everything. So that's something to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Any more perspectives to offer before we pop forward?
I just want to add real quick, like start small. So even, say you're not getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, maybe you're getting 4. Don't immediately try to get 8 hours of sleep, because that's going to be overwhelming and probably more challenging. So kind of build yourself up to wherever you want to be. And then also, if you are someone like me and it's really easy for you to like prioritize school maybe too much, maybe try, you know, putting some stuff that's not school first, and then kind of figuring out how to fit in all of your homework assignments and stuff into that new schedule. Um,
Absolutely. I think blocking your calendar is really great for some people. If you are a calendar user and you need to actually block out times where you say, this is my time to go to the gym, this is my time to be social, and really building in that time, just like you would build in time for work or school. Give yourself permission to do that, because once again, we as human beings have needs that we have to meet in order to be at our best. And, faculty members, staff members at the university, we all understand that this is something that you as students need to be able to do. So continuing to move forward, I told you that we would tell you specifically how you can get involved on campus and what the actual steps are to follow. So Rachel, if you'll jump in, you are welcome to explain that.
Yeah, I'll go really quick. So if you're interested in being in an org, you can join any single org. So what you need to do is go on Presence, go to Presence. You can do it through Hawklink, or excuse me, through your MyIT portal. You can click whatever org you're interested in, as I've done here, which I've chosen 33rd Street Productions. If you can click to the next slide, Markie. You'll see their slide, and then it says details, documents, connect, I think, and then join. If you click join, you're then part of the org. You are listed as part of the organization. If you want to contact them to tell them, I joined your org, what are next steps? All you have to do is click contact, or you can scroll down, will you click the next slide, Markie? You should be able to email the officer that's listed on the bottom there, and say, hey, President, blah, blah, blah. My name is Rachel. What can I do? And then, oh, that's okay. Then if you pop to the next one, sorry, now my printer's going, I don't know what's going on here. So how to find events that you might be interested in. If you haven't already, please add that tinyurl.com/IITOCL calendar. I know that you've heard me talk about that, but add that to your calendar. It'll lay over your calendar. You don't always have to look at it, but it will show up with all events. There should be events updated for at least the end of March. Then we will start with April. And then check out our newsletter for events for each week. And Presence also has events. So if an org is throwing an event, they have to register it on Presence. So you can see it here, and there's the newsletter and the calendar, so all those. And then look out for Sexual Assault Awareness Month events, as well as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month events for next month, and some other events as well. Mental Health Week, the week before finals.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel. And friends, Rachel is new to her role, and she has been highly accessible to the student body. So this is her contact information. So when in doubt, if you have questions, contact Rachel. This is her email address. And also, if you have questions about any of the sites that Rachel just went over, like using Presence, finding the Campus Life calendar, reach out to your first year mentor. That is something that we can help you get connected with. And so, friends, I just want to share these last couple of slides with you. This is really not a conversation. This is really just a resource to share. So how do I find fun things to do and see, and where should I dine out in the city of Chicago? This is that resource document that I was talking about. So Chicago, things to do, see, and eat in the city. And you can see that the first year mentors put quite a bit of effort into creating this collection for you. And so there are 3 tabs on this document. If you scroll down to the bottom, one tab is all about places to go. One tab has restaurants and the locations of those restaurants. And then one tab actually has subscriptions or social media accounts to follow that will inform you and give you notifications whenever things are going on in the city. And so this is really just yours to use and share with your friends. You're welcome to add to it. And so I'm going to copy the link right here, and then, pardon me?
I just sent it in the.
Excellent. Thank you, Lucy. And so you are welcome, like I said, to, add to it, use it as much as you want. But this is a great place to start if you aren't familiar with the city. And I wish that someone would have done this for me when I first moved here. So please use the resource. I would love to see you all getting out and having some fun in the city, especially given the year that we have all just made it through. And so for a closing reflection, some things to just think about moving forward, ask yourself after the seminar, does your current college experience have this balance that we just talked about between academics, involvement, and social connection? And be honest with yourself. If it doesn't, give yourself permission to get involved, to have a social life, to meet those needs that we all have as human beings. It is okay, and it is expected that you do that as a college student. Second thing to think about, what are your interests, values, and goals for your education? What opportunities, whether they be social, academic, or campus life related, can you pursue that are aligned with those needs? If you're not sure, talk to your mentor, talk to your peers. We're here to help you figure that out. And then what do you think your next steps are for customizing your college experience? Don't let this be a seminar that you watch and then walk away and don't do anything about it, because this piece can really make or break your college experience in many ways. And I think you'll find that if you really take the steps to get organized and to make time for these other things, you're going to be really glad you did. I've never heard a student say that they regretted it. And so definitely think about those things moving forward. And if you want a little bit of support, kind of making a plan to get a little more involved, or you just need some support balancing your life out a little bit more, talk to your first year mentor. That's what they're there for. And so friends, just, I think that Rachel just went over this, but don't forget that this is the last week of Women's History Month. So make sure that you check out the Office of Campus Life calendar for anything that is coming up in the future. Also, friends, don't miss the next 3 seminars. These are going to be big and important. So we've got a 3-part series coming up, one on April 6th, one on the 13th, and one on the 20th, all about career readiness. So, talking about getting involved, this very next one that we're doing on Tuesday, April 6th, is going to be all about finding major related career experiences, leadership experiences, and involvement opportunities as an undergrad. And that's going to be from Tiara de Guzman in Career Services. So be there. In addition, we're going to have one the next week on professional networking, and then one on resume tips and tricks. And then our final seminar will be all about financial literacy on April 27th. And friends, that is all I have for you today. So questions, concerns, don't be afraid to reach out to me. My email is right there. That is all I have for you today, my friends. So happy Tuesday to you. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy some of the sunshine today that we've got. It would be a great day to head to 31st Street Beach and to get a little bit of fresh air. And we hope to see you at next week's seminar. Thanks so much, and we will see all of you next time. Bye.